1 second, folks. Bear with me here. There we go. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to another episode of Spilly Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, to be followed by the Agape boarding school in another video. But first, the usual disclaimers. Why am I so late today? Well, because I decided today was a day for cleaning. Hence why behind me, this is not so much of a train wreck as it was the other day. So yeah, I woke up, did all my exercise, including the afternoon exercises, out of the way, and immediately started cleaning. I am exhausted. So that's why we're coming on so late today. I hope everyone had a happy Halloween. I had a blast. I made some pizza and I made some cheesy breadsticks. And I watched documentaries because, yeah, me and documentaries. I also want to say Happy All Saints Day, everyone, for those who follow that and actually know what it is. All right, folks. Now, in the description box, and before I get there, let me drink some of this. I've been waiting to drink it all day. You're going to find the link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals from all over the world. All over the world, JRC. All over the world. In regards to the JRC's quote-unquote behavioral modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you reading the truth so damn bad. They have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill, folks. Please read the article and share it on all your social media. You also have linked in there NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are still crowdfunding, folks, just in case the JRC has the balls to see through with their threat. We also got linked in there all the links pertinent to the Agape boarding school situation. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that has, and counting, 21 civil lawsuits, allegations, and claims, all of them substantiated by independent investigations done by the Missouri Department of Social Services that include the following: sexual assault, sodomy against children. You have, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, starvation, and even child trafficking. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor who still lives on the premises with full access to the kids that are left there remaining, up and facing prison time after claims have been substantiated of multiple accounts of sodomy and sexual assault against the students there. You have an attorney general too busy running for Senate and kissing Donald Trump's ass and lying about his opponent about every 2 minutes to do his job and get those kids out of that school. Eric Schmidt, you can't sit there and say you're going to fight for Missouri children when you refuse to fight for Missouri kids. You cannot claim to care and say that you wish to stop child abuse, using it as a means to bludgeon the very small LGBTQ community out here, and meanwhile allow rampant pedophilia, child trafficking, and child abuse to go on continually with impunity at places like Agape. And no, folks, they're not even by far the only school this has happened to. We all know about gone on at the Circle of Hope, and those trials are getting ready to come up soon, so I'll be diving into that at some point. There's other unlicensed Christian-themed schools out here in Missouri running under similar premises and so-called ideas. So yeah, I'm going to need you to share those links on all your social media. And please don't forget to sign and get rotated out there into the stratosphere, the change.org Shut Agape Boarding School Down petition. Since Eric Schmidt can't seem to figure out how to do his job, I guess we're just going to have to do it for him. All right, we include the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, of course, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, the link to Jennifer Masumba's behavioral sheet over shockable offenses, because we all know Matthew Israel's about to lie his ass off. It's kind of his shtick. We have the link to the 7-hour ordeal that happened in 2002 to Andre McCollins, whose crime was to not remove his coat. You have also the templates and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. I want you to go over these links, and the reason why is every last one of them is going to show the lies and the victim blaming and put the lie to the bullshit that Matthew Israel's about to blow up our asses here systematically. We have receipts, doctor. We have receipts. All right. So please go over those. Now, folks, as you know, when we talk about the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. Also, this channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and we talk about dark subjects. If your child is 16 or younger and they are watching this channel, parental supervision is very highly advised. I don't know how I've managed it to not do it without my second dose of caffeine, folks, but that's what I've been doing today. I may stumble over my words just out of sheer exhaustion, so if I do that or I go off on a tangent, which let's face it here, it's me. I'm going to go off at a tangent. I'm going to go off on the tangent because it's the insane mind of Matthew Israel that we're dealing with here. Apologies in advance, all right? Okay, so here we go. The use of a skin shock as a supplementary component of positive behavioral modification treatment does not meet any of the requirements of the definition of torture in the UN Convention Against Torture. It actually does, doctor. I told you he was going to lie out his ass, didn't I? See, doctor, if the UN Special Rapporteur tells you it violates the Convention Against Torture, it violates the Convention on Torture. They did not base this decision that they've made on simply the reports of activists or self-advocates. It's not how the UN operates, doctor. They base it off of clinical evidence in your own goddamn torture videos. They based it on the 7-hour video where Andre McCollins was shocked over and over again, screaming for help, begging for mercy, begging for you to make it stop. If that's not torture, I don't know what is. If that does not meet the requirement of torture, nothing does. It's not treatment because you say it is, doctor. It's not a supplement. It's not a pill I can go yank out of my myriad of supplements of vitamins I take every day that I can take a drink of water and doesn't affect me at all. Supplements don't make people scream in horror and agony, begging you to stop. Okay? Using these calming terms like supplements, to anyone who's watched those videos, it's not going to soften what you do to disabled kids. Not even remotely, not even at all. But let's see here. Behavioral skin shock is applied to ameliorate a condition or illness, a fact that rules it out as a form of torture. Is that true, doctor? No, folks. It isn't. See, he's trying to use the argument that because he's a doctor and he calls it treatment, then it can't be torture. Because he used it as a part of his bizarre behavioral program that somehow makes it okay because it's called treatment. Not really how any of this works, doctor. Psychology, psychiatry, it's got a long, dark, twisted history for anybody who ever wants to do a deep dive on it. With all kinds of horrific experiments. Tell me, doctor, if Josef Mengele would have used the argument during his trials before the court of the whole world and called it medicine, what he did to those poor Jewish kids, by your definition, then, that means that what he was doing was not torture but treatment, right? No. No. The whole world saw what he was doing for what it was. Him being a doctor did not change that what he did was torture. Okay? You can't wave your degree around and then have it move like an magic eraser. Okay? Or use it as a way to somehow justify and redeem the shit you get up to against people like me. The fact that you call it a treatment doesn't make it a real treatment, doctor. Okay? So, it does not rule it out as a form of torture. Okay? It actually does not. A 2-second application of shock to the surface of the skin, typically on the arm or leg, does not inflict severe pain and suffering. Explain Andre McCollin's video. Because that video starts, doctor, with that so-called 2-second shock. A volt of electricity went through Andre McCollin's that was so strong that it dropped him to the fucking ground. Second shot had him crawling underneath his desk to get away from you fuckers. Those so-called 2-second shots of electricity, doctor, from a device that is 3 times more powerful than a police taser. These police tasers known to take down full-grown, over 300-pound, muscled men. These are kids. You're using 3 times that power in your devices. Bee sting my ass. It does indeed inflict severe pain and suffering. You do not tell me listening to that boy's screams that it's not causing pain and suffering. You sick fuck. That your own video of the girl when they started talking about the device, started crying and wanting to get away. Yeah. Adversity therapy is not experienced by JRC students as torture. As witnessed by their own testimony, many students viewed it as helpful or even life-saving. Ever heard of Stockholm Syndrome, doctor? It's a particular psychiatric issue. When someone has undergone torture for a long period of time, they might even start believing your bullshit. I've seen it happen. Not to mention, a person coming to testify on your behalf while strapped up to that device and having a person, be it a parent or a caretaker, 3 feet fucking back with their hand damn near the button, makes that testimony absolutely dubious. In fact, what it tells me, doctor, is that they will say whatever the hell you want them to say in order to not be punished for not complying. Their testimony is completely useless, doctor, in any court of law that is anywhere outside of Massachusetts. Any testimony given while under threat of torture or other types of adversive repercussions upon them don't hold up and can be shredded apart by even the most basic of public defenders. Even Elaine could tear that shit apart. Aversive therapy is used to end pain as well as save and extend enriched lives. This is what I can't comprehend, doctor. So explain it to me like I'm 5. How is inflicting pain an end to pain? No, please go on. Explain it to me like I'm fucking 5 here. How does causing someone to scream like you made Andre McCollins ending pain? Because it isn't, doctor. It does not save them. It does not extend and enrich their lives. Matter of fact, many survivors have talked about attempts they tried to make on their own life because of what you animals did to them. There is no discriminatory purpose on how behavioral skin shock is used. Is that a fact? Then tell me, doctor, why do you prey on minority communities in order to bring in these students every year? That's part of your own documents, too, I might add. This center targets minority communities who have access to basically, you want to know what they have for autistics in these communities? Zilch, nada, zip, nothing. Nothing. These folks have just about 0 resources in order to get their kids help. Maybe the most basic of helps if they're lucky. But then the JRC wipes in and they're going to sell them a story. And don't worry about a thing. We'll take care of everything to families who are desperate with no resources. They'll gloss over what they actually get up to. Oh, don't worry about the shocks. It's a bee sting. Nothing. That's why they prey on these communities, folks. Because our society and the medical model have left these poor minority communities with fucking nothing. There are no centers for autism in some of these places. There's nowhere for these parents to go. These parents, a lot of times, don't have the insurance to be able to cover the costs for the other types of treatments that are out there for their kids. Most of the few things that they do get is done through the public schools. And the public schools, not the parents. Hear me out. The public schools, not the parents, are the ones signing them up for this place. Okay? Non-discriminatory, my ass. Adversive therapy is not administered for the purpose of applying retributive punishment to an individual. Then why do you use the word punishment so damn much, doctor? In your 2006 response to the New York Department of Special Education, used the term punishment over and over and over again. It is very much a punishment-based model, doctor. A punishment-based model that is not practiced anywhere else in the world, including other programs that utilize applied behavioral analysis. They've gotten rid of the adversives as far as corporal punishment is concerned decades ago. That means even at this point, it had been a good 20 years since ABA had removed the corporal punishment part of ABA. Years and years. Everything in this paragraph is a lie. And we can show it for the lie that it is, because we have Jennifer Masumba's behavioral sheet. We have the DESE reports. We have the court case documents and evidence of what Linda Cornelison went through during the last hours of her life. We have survivor testimony. We have whistleblower testimony. All, and mother of all, we've got the goddamn video footage of what you bastards get up to. You, doctor, are literally the definition of the dude getting caught by a cop trying to rob a gas station, and he holds his hand up while holding the gun, saying that it's not what it looks like. Or even better, you, doctor, are about the equivalent of a guy having an affair with a married woman, and the husband comes home and you both jump up and that's not what it looks like. Okay? First off, come down off your cross. You're not Jesus. If the special rapporteur on torture, an expert who's studied many cases throughout the world, tells you after watching the footage of Andre McCollins, and by the way, doctor, no, they did not base their opinion off that report in MDRI, as factual as it was. He did what MDRI asked and conducted his own investigation. Not with a bias against aversives, but as a torture expert. Guess what he found? See, he didn't see it as treatment. In spite of it, you calling it that way and packaging it that way. He, like the rest of the fucking planet, can see through your lies. What we see there is not a student receiving treatment for behaviors. What we see is a complete fucking madman surrounded by a chorus of insane, inhumane people, torturing a boy for the sin of being born autistic. Because that's what's happening, doctor. That's the real truth. And I'm going to go ahead and close out on that, folks, because I got another video to do here in a minute. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this afternoon, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.